Hi guys, welcome to our workshop. Today I'm starting a new series where I attempt to build a little jewelry box for my girlfriend. Our 3 years anniversary is right around the corner and I think it's gonna be real nice. I'm gonna use two types of wood. So I'm gonna use a piece of mahogany and some curly maple. So the twist for this project is gonna be the connection between the sides. I'm gonna do some finger joint, or some people call it box joint. And I'm gonna use my sander and round off the corners, so it's gonna give like a nice round effect, I hope. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
So I started by cutting my piece of mahogany to length. Then I use the surface that I just cut as a reference, and I put it against the fence and just trim the corners to be sure everything is square. Since this piece was some rough lumber, I used my joiner just to flatten another side and have two perfectly square sides, and from that I did all my cuts. Then I came back to my chop saw and cut my piece to its final length. Then I went on my table saw and used a technique called resawing. So I basically do two cuts to bring out a small piece out of a bigger piece, like this. When all my pieces were cut out, I used a combination of the chop saw and the table saw to put everything to length. Now it's time for the joining. Since I'm using a dado stack of 3/8 of an inch to do my fingers, I have to change a couple of times the blades, but this takes like 5 minutes. So to do this, I basically use the piece I wanted and put the blade exactly as high as the thickness of my piece, and just make a slot in a big piece of plywood. Then you have to measure the hole that the table saw made, and you have to cut a piece of hardwood that will fit exactly in this hole. So still with the table saw, you have to switch all the blades just for one little piece. Then you cut it and you make sure it fits really snugly in the little hole, and once it does, you just put some glue in it and you glue it there. And while this glue dry, you can change again your blades on your table saw. So then it's really straightforward. You use your piece and you just pass it through and jump on the pin, pass it, jump on the pin, and you repeat this process until all your pieces are done, and you just see if all the pieces assemble.
There you go guys, I finished my finger joint. This was quite hard since I didn't have a sled. On the table saw, it was hard to keep the pieces still while I was cutting them, but I think it turned out okay. There's some gaps, I can see light going through, but it won't matter. It's a small jewelry box, so it doesn't need to be super strong. So if you want to see the rest of this build, please subscribe, please give me a like, and I'll see you next week. Ciao!